Yo, so I just did something actually dumb. Apple just unveiled the new iOS 27 and I decided to put iOS 27 beta on my main phone. No backup, no nothing. Just straight up install it on one phone I use every single day. And look, Apple just dropped probably their biggest software update in years. New Siri, AI everywhere. Features they've been promising since 2024, but
developers can build on Apple Intelligence to bring you new experiences that are smart, available when you're offline.
Nobody's telling you about the bugs, the stuff that's locked, the stuff that's broken, the stuff that's not even available yet, even if you have the newest iPhone. So I went in so you don't have to, and what I found, some of it actually good, some of it low-key disappointed me, and one thing has me on a wait list like I'm trying to get into a club or something. Here's how I describe iOS 27 in one sentence. It's Apple cleaning up their mess and finally delivering on promises they made back in 2024. Bro, iOS 26 was rough. Genuinely one of the buggier releases in a while, but iOS 27 is basically Apple going, yeah, we heard you. Faster performance, Siri actually working, AI features that make sense. It's more of a refinement update than a reinvention, and honestly, that's fine.
I didn't get that.
Shut the fuck. That's what it needed to be. Real quick, before we get into the features, iOS 27 supports everything from the iPhone 11 all the way to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. A phone from 2019 is still getting support going into 2027. That's actually insane. But, and this is a big but, not every feature works on every phone. The best Siri AI stuff, the new voices, all of that requires an iPhone 17 Pro or newer with at least 12 GB of RAM. Keep that in mind as we go. The first thing you're gonna notice isn't just some flashy new features, it's just the new phone feeling faster, and it's actually noticeable. Apps open up 30% faster, airdrop transfers are 80% faster, photos show up in your library up to 70% faster right after you shoot them, and file apps are now 5 times faster. 5 times. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's some crazy night and a day difference, but it does feel snappier. Scrolling is smoother, swiping home, unlocking, opening the app library. It all just feels more polished than iOS 2016. And Wi-Fi is smarter now too. You know how your phone used to connect to some random store's Wi-Fi and just wreck your connection for no reason? That's fixed. iOS 27 only switches to Wi-Fi when it actually makes sense. Small thing, but if you're moving around a lot, you'll notice it, especially when you're in a cafe. Alright, you ready for the next one? Liquid glass. People have been asking for this since iOS 26 dropped. You can now adjust how much liquid glass you actually want. It used to be a toggle on or off. Now it's a full slider. Want it full transparent? Done. Want it basically gone and looking closer to old iOS? You can do that too. It previews in real time as you move it. This should have been there from day one, honestly. The liquid glass look is fine, but some people genuinely couldn't read text with those clear backgrounds. Now you just dial it back however you want. Good change. Took long enough. Okay, now let's talk about photos. Apple dropped 3 editing tools: Cleanup, Extend, and Reframe, and I've been testing all 3 on the beta. Cleanup has been around for a minute, but they actually upgraded it this time. Better in feel, more realistic results. Well, Samsung's Object Eraser has been ahead of Apple here for a while, but Apple is actually closing that gap now. Extend is basically AI outpainting. It takes your photo and fills it beyond the original edges. Apple's late on this one, no sugarcoating it. This has been on Android and Photoshop for a while, but it's here now and it works. And then there's Reframe. This is the wild one. It takes a regular 2D photo and lets you shift the camera angle on it, like it's using Apple's special photo tech from the Vision Pro, but now on a regular iPhone. You drag the photo, change the perspective, and it regenerates the whole thing from that new angle. Cool, right? Fair warning though, the beta version, it crashes sometimes, I'll be honest. But when it works, it's genuinely impressive. I mean, the concept alone is kind of insane for a phone camera app. I don't know, what you think? Let's talk about Siri. I feel like ever since I've been an Apple user, this will be the first time I am optimistic about using Siri in my day-to-day life. I mean, come on, this is the feature that basically headlined all of the WWDC. So here's what the new Siri actually is, because it's worth understanding even if it's not fully live yet. Basically, it's not the old, hey, set a timer assistant anymore. It's a full conversational AI that has access to everything on your phone. Your messages, your photos, your emails, your notes. It can search across all of it and understand context. It gets its own dedicated app now, like a ChatGPT style interface that keeps a history of your conversations. You also swipe down from the dynamic island to pull it up instead of the old way. Now, here's something people aren't really talking about. Apple rebuilt Siri on Google's Gemini. Yeah, Google. When it's not running on device, it goes through a custom Gemini model on Apple's private cloud compute. Apple says your data stays private. Neither Apple nor Google can see it. Whether you trust that is up to you. Am I personally trusting? No comments. And one more catch, the new expressive Siri voices only work on iPhone 17 Pro or newer with 12 gigabytes of RAM. Standard iPhone 17 doesn't get it. Older phones? Definitely not. But what Siri can do now when you actually have access is more useful than any version we've had before. It knows what's on your screen. It can edit a message you just sent. It can find a photo from 3 years ago just from a description. It can control third-party apps in ways it never could before. Okay, so everyone's gonna cover Siri and liquid glass, but there is stuff in this update that nobody is really talking about. First, let's talk about the auto password fixer. You know how the passwords app already tells you when one of your passwords got leaked? Apple Intelligence can now fix it for you. You tap the button, it goes to that website, fills out the change password form by itself, generates a stronger password, and it updates it in Apple Passwords. All automatically. No copy pasting or digging through your emails. If you ask me, that is genuinely a useful AI feature, not a gimmick. Second, shortcuts with AI. You can now just describe what you want in plain English and your phone builds the shortcut. Like turn on do not disturb and drop my brightness to 50% when I plug in my charger after 11 p.m. and it just makes it. That's huge for people who never touched shortcuts, including me. I mean, because the old interface was actually painful to use and I didn't really get along with it. Alright, the third one is about AirPods. Finally, they have a custom EQ. It's been almost 10 years since AirPods launched and there is never been a dedicated EQ. And luckily, iOS 27 adds one. Basically, you go to your AirPods settings and tune the sound however you want, like customizing the bass and stuff like that. It's yours. Fourth, call context. For example, if you're on a call with an airline or a bank, Apple Intelligence automatically pulls up your relevant info like your flight confirmation number right on the call screen. So you're not searching all of your emails while you're on hold just looking for a confirmation number or something like that. Not gonna lie, that's a thoughtful, practical feature. And at number 5, iCloud shared albums now work cross-platform. Android and Windows users can open your shared albums through a link. No app needed. If you've ever tried to share photos with someone not on iPhone, you know how annoying that used to be. That's done now. And lastly, if you're in Europe, I gotta be real with you, pretty much all of the Apple Intelligence features and new Siri are not coming to you at launch. It's a regulation situation. Apple hasn't given a timeline. That's just where it is. Overall though, iOS 27 is a solid update. Not the most revolutionary thing Apple's ever done, but it's fixing what was broken and delivering on stuff they promised 2 years ago. The performance alone is worth it. The photo tools are good. Siri generally looks like it could change how I use my phone day to day now. And the only frustrating part is how much of the best stuff is locked behind the iPhone 17 Pro. That's real, but it's also not surprising at this point. I don't know, would you buy the newer iPhone just for the new updates, let me know.